It's Thursday, October, was it 15th, 2015. Today's rant is going to be a continuation of the debates from Wednesday night. Hillary looked like she did very well. Bernie, I think, did very well. He did not look as comfortable up there on the stage. He was not as well prepared as Hillary. He looked a little bit old, so to speak. Let's get rid of Webb. He's not going to do nothing. Who was the other guy there? Ex-senator from Rhode Island, Lincoln Chafee, let's get rid of him. Martin O'Malley, make your peace with Hillary so that you can become vice president and then start working for her, so to speak. I'd like to think that he would be better at it, but basically Bernie sapped it all. So it's going to be Bernie and Hillary. As I said, Hillary did very well yesterday. Bernie did not look well, but I think they both need to continue on. Obviously, it's not going to stop. Bernie has done very well in fundraising. He's going to continue to do well in fundraising, and he needs to continue to push Hillary to the left. He needs to continue that, and Hillary needs to be pushed to the left. I do need to see her, in my humble opinion, stronger in terms of going against the banks. Whether it's we take over the banks or whether we have such I won't use a harsh regulation, but we regulate them that those people will go to jail when they do the types of things that they have done in the past. You know, where committing fraud is just a part of business. Now, let's get into the next aspect, was that I read through many of my friends on Right Wing World, a number of the web pages, a number of the shows, how painful it was for them to watch all of that. I don't know. Trying to help the American people by using efficient, effective government to do that. I don't see how that can be so painful to so many people. But talking about how the fix was in because no one went and attacked Hillary, and that Bernie was told to lay off of her, that Anderson Cooper was told to lay off of her. That's just the usual white ring conspiracy theories that, the fix was in. No, it's because they're more human beings than the Republican counterparts who are running for president. And they also know that the best way to have efficient, effective government is to have a well-thought-out strategy, a well-thought-out plan, tactics, and understanding all sides of the issue, knowing where you stand, and willing to listen to other people in terms of what they have. So the right-wing world was all aghast about all this stuff, giving away free stuff. That's the only way they know how to get elected. And of course, they seem to me and to continue to be alienating those people of color and those people who are poor. It may be very, very hard for someone there on the Republican side to get elected. I noticed an article yesterday about Mark Rubio, who basically indicated that, yes, you really can't live off of about $11 an hour, but we shouldn't raise the minimum wage. Now, that didn't get much play then, but in a general election, that will be a big issue. It will be a big issue. I mentioned before that there are at least 4 issues that I do not think a Republican can get elected on if they're against. One of them is increasing the minimum wage. All of the Republicans are against it. And even Billy O'Reilly said he's for it, though he hasn't said how much he's for. The minimum wage should be a living wage. And if anyone says, like long gone Scott Walker, that we shouldn't even have a minimum wage, just remember how people used to live in the late 1800s and early 1900s when there was no minimum wage, when there was no child labor laws. Just take a look at some of those pictures of the kids, 10, 9 years old, working in the mines, with a little scarf over their face to protect them from the coal dust. So minimum wage is 1. Comprehensive immigration reform is 2. No Republicans wants comprehensive immigration reform. Number 3, gay marriage. No Republican running now is in favor of gay marriage, even though they're going to try and skirt around the issue a little bit. And they're going to try and skirt around the issue, too, with comprehensive immigration reform, again, with the usual, we need to secure our borders first. And it's funny how it's been well known that Obama has sent back a lot more people, and he still has about a year to go, or more than a year to go. A lot more people now than Bush did in his whole 8 years. But they keep on saying our borders aren't secure. Our borders will never be perfect. You know, there's a lot of things that can be done in terms of border security, but the Republicans really do not want immigration reform because their base does not want immigration reform, and they want people of color to stay down. I don't think that's a winning issue for them in 2016. Gay marriage, I mentioned, is not a winning issue. And the thing is, the paradigm shift on gay marriage was faster than any other paradigm shift in terms of something that everyone was against in the early 90s and the 80s or whatever. And now there is more than a majority for it. The Supreme Court has ruled. Hopefully Kim Davis will go to jail more if that's what the case should be. So another losing issue for the Republicans is going to be taxing the rich. I don't think that they can get away with that at all. And now, I'm not saying that taxing the rich is going to solve all of our problems. I'm not saying that at all. But there are a number of things that the wealthy should be paying for that they're not paying for at all, which is increasing the discrepancy in the pay wages of the rich and the poor. There's a wide discrepancy in that. And it is not redistribution at all. And just getting back to the, I also mentioned that the free college tuition. And remember, the United States decided over 100 years ago that they would make public education free because they knew at that time that it was vitally important for the children of America to be well educated so that they could be good workers. This is what created, this is what created America as that exceptional country, that we were willing to invest in our people. Now, the last thing on taxing the rich, there's a whole host of things, but I also think that we should have Social Security reform, and we should raise the amount. I think it's 113 or 118,000. So if you make 118,000, any money that you make over that amount, you are not taxed anything for Social Security. I think that should be raised also. I think that's a winner for them. But the big thing is the Democrats are now going to come out against guns. I think that's a big winner also. I think we've seen enough. And I think the American people have seen enough. And even though it will be difficult to get gun legislation passed, to get elected into as president, I believe, starting today, starting yesterday, starting since the debate where Hillary and, well, she did go after Bernie on that pretty good. But the point is, being for additional gun control is a winning issue in 2016. So now I think that there are 5 things that the Republicans are all going to be against that are winning issues for the Democrats. Increase in gun control, an increase in the minimum wage, comprehensive immigration reform, gay marriage, taxing the rich. And, the Planned Parenthood thing, I'm going to say, it's not about abortion. It's about white men trying to control women, poor women, and women of color's bodies and what they should do with it. Because, as we've said many times, Planned Parenthood is much, much more than just abortion services. Those are all going to be losers for the Republicans next year.